Before I start, I cannot do what I do around the country, because this presentation is not going to be your typical financial literacy presentation. That I will guarantee you. Even though you heard two words, compound interest, it's going to be a lot more intriguing than that. But we can't do what I do without Mountain America. They are a sponsor of the events that I do and presentations in pretty much a lot of Utah and even now in Phoenix, Greater Phoenix, where they have locations. Anybody a member by chance of Mountain America? Okay, great. Awesome. So I just want to introduce Tony Rasmussen real quick from Mountain America.
Wonderful Wednesday afternoon to one and all. We're very excited. Mountain America is so pleased to partner with Todd Romer. This content is fantastic. And of all the great things I learned in college, which were many, I wished I would have had this information much, much earlier than I did, but it's fantastic. You know the Chinese proverb, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the next best time is today. So be prepared to plant your seeds. Thanks, Todd.
Fantastic, fantastic. Very true. Welcome, welcome. You will now be put on the spot with my first question. I'm just totally kidding. You're good. All right. A little bit of background before I get into the 5 steps to financial success. I just flew in yesterday from Cincinnati, where it's 37 degrees colder than it is here. My wife is wondering about, hey, where's the firewood? I'm like, we ran out. But got that text this morning. It's super cold in Ohio. I grew up in Dayton, Ohio. Anybody been to Dayton before? Heard of Dayton? Okay, we have one. Yes, we have. Yes. We got Mark back there. Dayton, Ohio. I grew up in Dayton. I was the youngest of 7 kids. I always like to know background about anybody that I listened to. I wanted to know their story, right? How do they get to where they are now? What have they done? What are some of the hills and valleys they've been through? I was the youngest of 7. My father was a pediatrician. He helped little kids get well, of course. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom with 7 kids. That is a job in and of itself. Would you agree with that? And so 5 boys, 2 daughters, being the youngest, I happened to really start becoming aware of money and managing money at a young age because I began investing money at age 15 with lawn mowing money that I made, cutting grass in neighborhoods around me. And I really started to go, wait a minute, why are my peers? I don't know about you guys, when you're in high school or here today, and when you're a little bit younger, whatever age you are, but sometimes don't you kind of compare yourselves to other people your age, just like where they're at and where they were? Am I smart enough? Do I have enough ability to be as good or successful down the road, or do I have an equal amount of money? All those comparisons would hit me in high school and college, and I started to do what I thought was normal, which was take the money that I made from cutting grass. Sometimes I made $500 first summer at 14, 15. Then I was making $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a summer cutting grass. And I started to invest that money. And I thought that was what everyone was supposed to be doing. You remember I said my dad was a doctor, right? I had no idea that he made more than the average income than someone who's in other fields, right? I had no clue. He drove the same car, wore the same clothing, pretty much. We lived in a modest house, a middle-class house in Dayton, Ohio. Not until I was 25, I'm like, oh, he probably made more than the average person. But he provided just a background of how to save and manage and invest your money, which I thought was typical and normal. And so I want to kind of prompt your antenna right now, because what I'm going to share with you today, traveling all the way from Ohio to come here, not just to present to Slick here today, I'll be at UVU tomorrow and BYU on Friday, is a truly powerful 5-step plan to change the way your future could be, to live a life that fits your dreams. And I'm going to kind of go off of my normal questioning right now, right here, is can someone just be very candid with me, very real, and say, what are some things that you're trying to accomplish? What are some mini dreams, if you want to call it? What are some goals that you have truly held back, have pushed down? You maybe haven't made them public before, for fear that maybe you won't be able to reach them or attain those. Anybody have something that's kind of brewing? Yes.
I want to be completely debt-free by the end of the year.
That's a fantastic goal. Completely debt-free. I love how specific it was. Debt-free. You could have said, I just want to manage my money better by the end of the year. Well, what does that mean, right? Anyone else? Anything related to you personally? What is something that you're trying to go, well, I don't know if I want to say it out loud per se, because what if I don't get there, then I might be deemed a failure. Go ahead.
Invest in real estate.
You want to be an investor in real estate someday. Okay. What else? There's some other there's something else going on now here. Come on. One more, and we'll move on to the presentation. Just kind of preparing you all to believe. Yes.
Exciting dream, my kids, just trying to get my kids through college, afford it and get them through. And hopefully they can go on and be a success.
That's great. That's fantastic. That's a wonderful dream. Yeah. Yeah. You're no different than I am. I'm no better or worse than you are, vice versa. I was saying this to somebody who we were working with. He was homeless many months ago in our house. We actually ended up having him in our home, we thought just for a day. Ended up being with us for more than 8 weeks. And he was 19 years old. And I said, Nick, I want to make sure that you understand some things. The first thing I said to him was this: you are no better and no worse than me. I am no better and I am not worse than you. But what you don't have is some life skills and some money skills that I'm going to teach you to help you do and think about money differently. And so this is what this is all about. This is how it started. Young Money Magazine in the basement of my home. For those who want to start a business someday, who have an entrepreneurial bent, anybody out there that has an entrepreneurial bent to try and start something someday? Well, this is what I did. I started in the basement of my home, Young Money. We had some pretty cool cover stories, Mark Cuban and Danica Patrick, and all that was fun and great. But we got out of the print industry, the print magazine industry, and we started this tour called Young Money Live. And it was a pretty fun run, if you will. It still continues to go. We don't have the tent outside anymore. People would think we were the record label many times, thinking that Nicki Minaj and Drake and Lil Wayne were on campus every time we would show up. But we were attracting people big time and still do. So now what I do is I present. Because this 45, 50-minute presentation is changing not just 100 lives, we're moving into thousands and really tens of thousands of lives over the last several years through this content. It's not about me per se, it's what I'm going to share with you. And so this is just that background. So the question for you, and I've also never in a million years would have thought I'd author a book called Young Money on Amazon. People tell me, hey, if they run out of the next class, just heads up, that's on Amazon. It's not an attempt to sell my book to you, but I will tell you this. We have so many students go, wait, your stuff was really good, and I want to know more. So before I forget, sometimes I do, at the end, that's available to you. In fact, I was telling Whitney, back in November I spoke here, one of the students in here who listened to me speak emailed me a week after and said, hey, I was blown away with the presentation. I want to start doing money differently. I want to start investing. I have no idea how to start. I'm fearful, etc. How do I do that again? And so time and time again, people are trying to figure out how they can answer this question once and for all. So I ask you, do you want to be a financial survivor? Or do you want to be a financial success in your life? Who wants to be on the left-hand side? Of course not, right? Notice the heaviness, the emojis. If you like my emojis today, the heaviness of the person who's got weight is weighted down, right? I've had debt. We've been there. Who hasn't had? We've all had debt. Over time, it's okay to have debt in a short term, but over time, as it hangs on, does it not become weighty? Big time. There's not one person who can not say that. And so I can tell you that this is where I'm going to hopefully send you with a belief, a change in your thinking today. Because for you to be financially successful, before I teach you how to do, number 1, dream, 2, save, 3, spend, 4, step 5, give. Before you understand this 5-step plan that I'm about to share, some really good news for you first. For you to be financially successful has nothing to do with the following. How smart you are. Who likes that one off the bat? Who likes that one? Big time. No bearing how smart you are. It doesn't matter how well or how poorly your parents have managed money. Who loves their parents but would love to do money differently than them? See it everywhere I go. Does not matter what the economy is doing today or what it might be doing in 2 years or 5 years for you to be financially successful. And it does not matter who's in the White House today, who was there 4 years ago, 4 years, 8 years from now, 12. No bearing. Zero bearing for you to be financially successful. I'm going to help you think about money differently. So step 1 of the 5-step plan to financial success is called make a decision to dream. Each word in these steps, they're now part of curriculum. I have 2 major colleges that are using my content to, one just launched their own class, their elective, 1-hour elective, University of Cincinnati. It's called Financial Success, an actual course that they're mimicking off of this content. This step is literally left out, for the most part, of traditional financial education, which in my opinion stinks. That's a nice word I used. Stinks. There's not much behavior that's being changed with it. So make a decision to dream, make a decision. Decide today to dream. Because I know you all have them because you're human beings. You have dreams. But a lot of you have your dreams down here. You're not getting them out because of some fear of what may or may not happen down the road. Anybody relate with that? Yeah. So I'm hoping that these dreams will come up slowly but surely today as you learn how to save it differently, how to spend it differently, how to invest it. Even the word managing money is kind of aloof, isn't it? I'm going to be real specific. How you save it, how you spend it, how you invest it, and if you want, how you can give it to affect the lives of others. So step 1, make a decision to dream. It all starts here. Knowing your personal why. Can anybody in here tell me, why do you ultimately want to be financially successful? Underline the word ultimately. There's no right or wrong. It's an impossible answer, right? No right or wrong. But why does someone in here ultimately want to be financially successful? Who wants to give it a shot? Yeah.
I want to be financially successful because I want to be able to focus on the other things that I can get out of life and not have to worry about the money aspect.
Sure. Anybody in that camp over there? Yeah. Who else has another why that's brewing? Why do you ultimately want to be financially successful? Anyone else? You've heard get out of debt earlier, right? Successful to have your children complete college and move on. And so to have freedom. Be more specific. You want freedom to do what?
Everything.
Yeah. To do what you want. Can I fill it in? To do what you want when you want.
Yeah.
That makes sense? Time freedom, right? Allows you to have some time freedom, which is actually the greatest asset I think we all have, right? That we want more of. So it all starts with knowing your personal why. Your why will be your ongoing fuel and motivation to keep you on this money plan. Have you noticed that this step has nothing to do with money yet? I haven't talked to you anything about money yet. How to manage it differently, how to think about it differently? Well, a little bit. So this step has nothing to do with money. This is what's missing in my humble opinion about traditional financial education. You've got to get a fire going first in your heart, mind, and soul to want to change your behavior. Because when you see how I teach you in step 2, 3, and 4 how to save, spend, and invest it, you're going to be like, what? That's all that I got to do? You mean I don't have to go to MIT and Harvard and Yale and get a master's of personal finance at the U? No, you don't if you don't want to. How does that sound so far? Kind of giving you a prelude, right? Kind of building it up. Well, let's go. Finally, though, you got to name your fears and squash them. I decided to change this bullet point from last year because I constantly, through some coaching and talking to so many of you around the country, no matter what age you are, you have to name any of your fears that you have and squash them. Fear of the future, anybody got that going on? I don't know, is anybody a human being in here? Fear of the future? Yeah? Anybody breathing oxygen? Yeah, right? Fear of the future, name that out. Write it down. I'm afraid of the future, what it might look like. Squash it out, then put a line through it. I'm afraid of X, Y, or Z. I'm afraid of launching a business and not being successful. Write it out. Put a red line through it. I'm afraid of whatever it is. I'm afraid of heights. That's kind of a natural fear, right? I'm not going to write that down and squash it, but I know I can overcome some of that. We're talking about name your fears. Fear of failure, fear that you're not smart enough. Remember what I said? I don't know if I can get to what I want because I'm not smart enough. Name it and squash it once and for all. Now, once you do that, get that garbage out, you can actually start changing your behavior with money, starting literally today. How does that sound? A presentation that can actually enable you to change your behavior today, as opposed to, oh, that was such a nice, inspiring presentation. Gosh, I can't wait to do that someday, right? I hope I'm not inspiring you today. I hope I'm here to move you to action. Because we've all seen and have been inspired by a great movie, right? Anybody seen Green Book, by the way? That movie Green Book? Isn't that a great movie? If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. People are like, wait, what are you talking about? And we had to go find it at a small theater in Cincinnati, my wife and I recently. Probably the best movie I've seen in 25 years. Highly inspired, but then I kind of forgot about it, right? So, step 2, save money automatically. What's the key word do you think in this step? Automatically, right. Because if that just said, hey, save money, step 2. If I were in your chairs, I'd be like, are you kidding me? He's telling me to save money? Hello? I know I need to do that. No, I'm going to change how you save money for your normal needs and some of your short-term wants. Who's got short-term wants in life? Anybody? Anybody got oxygen going again? Yeah. So how we do this, we're going to start moving money from your checking account, which you need ASAP if you don't have a checking account, which I'm sure most of you do. If you don't, get one ASAP. By the way, you shouldn't have to pay $1 for a checking account or a monthly fee. I've been saving people, what's the number? I've been saving anywhere from $120 to $160 a year. People have had, man, you saved me. I just thought paying X amount of dollars per $12 or $10 a month was the cost of doing business for my bank. Well, no. How's that sound? Anybody? So get a checking account ASAP. Start transferring money automatically into your savings account each month. Automation is the key we're looking for here. Automation. How many of you have done this before? After summer, let's just say, where you've made some extra income, if that's what's going on, if you're working part-time or whatever you might be doing, you say, I'm going to save X amount of dollars by the end of summer, or by Christmas or whatever faith holiday you celebrate. I'm going to save by the end of the year X amount of dollars. Who's gone through that mental process before? And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, right? How about you get yourself out of the way of yourself, because we're our own worst enemy with a lot of things in life, right? And start automating by creating multiple named accounts, multiple named savings accounts. What I like to call, see this word up there? These two words, digital envelopes. Because is this not your credit union or your bank today? I mean, you rarely go into your branch, right? So this is your bank or your credit union. And now you can create multiple named savings accounts, all for free. Make sure that whatever bank or credit union you look at choosing doesn't require you to have a crazy minimum. I heard recently there's I'm not going to name the name, a big branded bank that requires $250 per savings account minimum to stay in there. Okay. Sounds like that's for the wealthy, right? What if you're able to look at maybe a Mountain America or someone else that can enable you to have multiple named accounts where you start putting names to them? This is how it changes your thinking. What if you had a savings account called emergency fund? Because does anybody have life happen to them in here? Emergencies, whatever those might be? Yeah. What if you had a savings account called new car? Because you're saving up for a new car. You create that account, that digital account called new car. Who's responsible for a car in here? Anybody? And do they work perfectly? What if you had one of these really cool, sexy accounts called car maintenance? Oh, that sounds fun, doesn't it? A savings account called car maintenance. Oh boy. Car repair. That is so exciting, right? Oh, now just wait. Tell me how exciting this account is in 12 to 18 months from now when the inevitable happens to your car. And you need new brakes, new AC, new tires. And you're putting $40, $50 a month automatically, you have been now, from your checking to your savings account called car maintenance. 12, 18 months from now. And when that happens, the inevitable happens, you're like, wait a minute. The mechanic said it's $665 to repair. Sweet, I've got $725. You are jumping for joy on this boring account called car maintenance, aren't you? Of course you are. Because you're changing the way you do money now, instead of how many have been on the phone with a mechanic before and are just like, oh gosh, and you're just waiting for the number. Anybody been down that fun road? You're waiting for the number at the end of the conversation, you're being polite, and all of a sudden, yes, it'll be $1,100. You're like, okay, bye. And you don't have it. Or you have maybe $200. And then we put it on a credit card. And then we think, well, nothing wrong with credit cards, but you know where I'm going, right? And debt begets debt begets debt. What if you had that nice, exciting account called car maintenance? What if you had, ladies in here, clothes and shoes account? Who would like to have a savings account called clothes and shoes? Come on. Sure. Look at some guys who are looking at me like, dude, I like clothes and shoes too. You too can have that same account, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Home down payment someday. You can create any account that you want that mimics your lifestyle, what you're doing now to start moving forward, right? Automation, creating named savings accounts. Here's a summary of step 2. We'll move on to step 3. You want to put a name to every single dollar of your income. Boom. Start putting a name to every single dollar of your income. If you have $500 of income, I don't care what the number is. $2,000, $5,000, whatever your income is, who cares? Know what your income is and start aligning them, assigning it to an account, savings account. Of course, you don't have a savings account called cell phone bill. You don't have a savings account called rent or car insurance because those are coming out of your checking account, right? Automatically to pay, etc. But your short-term needs, which we all have, and short-term wants, which we all have, this is where you start identifying and aligning them with new savings accounts. How are we doing so far? Is this a better way to save money? Yeah. If I left here right now, after step 2, I would have given you enough information to change your thinking already, to start moving you in the right direction. I have tons of people tell me there's no way ever, I said that really nicely, there's no way that I would ever go back to a single savings account mentality again. Just impossible. This is what I hope you do. And you can get started as easy as today, as simple as today. Any questions so far about step 1, make a decision to dream, step 2, save money automatically? How are we doing? Can we do it? Can anybody not do this plan so far? Awesome. Awesome. All right, step 3. This is going to be I'm going to go through it pretty fast. Just say no sometimes. Who likes the sound of that one? What do you think I'm talking about here? Just say no sometimes. What do you think I'm talking about with money? Boom. What is your name? Junior. Spending money. Remember, save it. Now I'm going to teach you how to spend it differently pretty quickly here. Again, I only have a 45, 50-minute time frame. Spend it differently. You're going to just simply say no sometimes. Ooh, that's pretty good. Could you imagine if I came in here and said, okay, stop going to, what did I drive by here? Stop going to Village Inn. Stop going to Chipotle. They have Chipotle out here, right? Stop going. Can you imagine if I kept telling, stop going wherever, Dunkin' Donuts? You'd be like, God, he is no fun. Why is it? No. But if you want to get ahead to where you say you want to go, you had your dreams that you shared, you talked about some of your whys, right? Those are the big things that are moving you every day. Then you will have to say no sometimes to things that you think you need, but really just want for the short term. How's that sound? Short term. Say no sometimes to things that you think you need. You're going to develop a realistic spending plan. It's another nice phrase for the word budget, right? To know exactly where your money's going, how much you're making, assigning each dollar of income to each expense that you have. It's that simple. How cool would it be to basically now have complete control over your monthly cash? Because you're assigning each dollar, no, not just some, each dollar to a job, to an assignment, to an expense. How cool is that? And by the way, did you see that one savings account up there called Fund Money? I mean, who likes to have a Fund Money savings account? For whatever, right? My wife has a Fund Money account for when she goes out with her girlfriends once in a while doing stuff. Yeah. Even a travel account. Did you guys see that one savings account called Travel? Ooh, who would like to travel more on a regular basis down the road? Anybody? Experiential living? Anybody in here experiential livers wants to do more travel and experience that? Yeah, I get it all over. I'm not a car guy. I'm not. I like a nice car, but I'm not like a car guy. Like, I can't wait to have this down the road. I'm a travel experiential guy. And I like a nice master bathroom and a nice kitchen. That's it for my house. That's it. See where I'm going? Everyone's different. You're different than me. You're going to have your own stuff and your own goals. You're going to say no sometimes, like I said, to things that you think you need but really just want. What this does, when you have throwing out a number, $3,000 of monthly income, and each of those dollars are assigned an expense, fixed expense. Remember your rent, cell phone bill, car insurance, health insurance, then your variable expenses. That's your entertainment, that's your clothes and shoes, that's your food, travel. Those are variable expenses. Once you assign those to each account each month, tell me how that might feel. I mean, let's go into the feelings, right? Is it going to feel pretty darn good? You're going to have control feeling. Not that you have total control, but you've got a lot more control than you had before. That's a good feeling. So each month, money's going, automating into where it needs to go. You're going to begin to reduce the emotion surrounding money this way. Who's ever done anything emotional with money before? Anybody? Who spent money within the last 12 months? Well, let's just be real. I'm going to share my story a little bit of some really crazy, stupid decisions. Who's spent money within the last 12 months, or within the last 12 weeks, or within the last 12 days on something that you regretted that purchase within the next 24 hours? Anybody? Yeah. Hey, our videographer just raised his hand. Yeah, he's human too. Likely there is an emotion around that spending. When you have a spending plan now with savings accounts named, and you've got a real spending plan or budget, the emotion slowly goes away. Not completely, it's reduced. You're not a robot. You don't turn into a robot with money. You just know, wait a minute, I've got my money going into my travel account so that in 9 months or 12 months or 18 months, I'm going to the Caribbean, like Tony just did. I'm going wherever, whatever it is, or I'm going in for a new car down payment. That's fun. It changes your thinking to become successful. Now, get ready. Whitney put seatbelts on each of your chairs to strap on right now with a step. So I would put them on. One person looked down. I saw. One person looked if there was. A lot of times I get more. This is a crazy step. Invest money automatically. It's in fourth position for a reason. Because when you start dreaming and you save money differently for your normal life expenses and your lifestyle, short-term lifestyle, and you start spending money differently, you're going to do whatever you can to get on this train of investing your money automatically. By the way, when I say the word invest, be honest with me, what comes to mind? Just name a word or an adjective or phrase. What kind of feelings do you have, emotions about that? What comes to mind? Stocks, risk, real estate, okay. Any other emotions besides risk? Risk is that a good thing or a bad thing? What's that? Both, yeah. So yeah, risk. Who's got some fear? Come on, we got to have some fear in here, right? Yes, thank you. Of course. There's going to be fear of loss, right? Man, I thought I heard Aunt Margaret or Uncle Joe or Uncle Susie or Uncle Javier, he lost money, I heard, back when the market went and crashed. I heard, right? All this. And it's all over the news and 24/7, social media, I hear this, that, whatever. Take a deep breath. I'm going to bring some semblance of peace to what investing is all about. Because this is the train that you want to get on. It's called the compound interest train, I'll mention in a moment, related to investing. Automatic monthly investing in solid stocks creates wealth over time. Who's heard of this company or uses their services or consumes from them on a once in a while or regular basis? Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, Walmart, Procter & Gamble, Google, Microsoft, Apple, Netflix, subscription, anybody in here? Anybody? Yes. I could go on and on. Johnson & Johnson. Who's ever gotten Tylenol for something? Who's ever had a Bandit? You name it. These are the kinds of companies that we're talking about that you can invest in, just like I have when I was 15 years old. By the way, just like millions of people around the country own shares of these same companies. In fact, most of your parents, if they're participating in their company's retirement plan at work or their 401k plan. Who has a 401k plan in here? Anyone? Yeah. Do you know that you invest in stocks in that? So if there are tens of millions of Americans that are investing trillions, not billions, trillions of dollars in the stock market, in these stocks, can it be that scary? No. There's no perfect investment out there, ladies and gentlemen. There's no such thing. But so what do you do then to base your judgment and your decisions on risk? Most people, smart ones, much smarter than I, look at historical performance. The market's been around for 120 plus years, the U.S. stock market. The average annual rate of return of investing in those kinds of companies that you use every single day, the annual rate of return is around 10 to 11% per year. That's 10 to 11% per year. Some years, it's only up 2%, right? Because you don't have to be a finance or investment major, right, an investing major, to know that the market does what every day? It goes like this. This is the most fun that I get to share with people because a lot of people want to get started, just like the student here 3 months ago when she emailed me after my presentation. She's like, I want to get started, just tell me where to go. I said, well, in the presentation, I talked about acorns, and I'll mention that in a minute. This enables you to start getting involved because today it's never been easier and requires very little money to start. To begin investing in stocks, well-known companies, just like your parents are, and most faculty, I would put it at a high number, wouldn't you, Mark? 90% of faculty, as his head is shaking, at Slick here, have money invested in these same stocks. So it can't be that scary. Let me tell you why investing you think is scary. I have this in a new ebook coming out, and actually my next book coming out in the next 4 or 5 months. Investing is scary when it turns into gambling. Because people invest in the stock market, and they do what? They gamble in it. So of course you can lose when you gamble in it. Thinking, oh, I know what stock is going to be best. I heard a new company out. It's going to take on Netflix. It's going to be better than Facebook. It's going to knock down Procter & Gamble and John. Oh my gosh, this new biotech. Well, good luck with that, right? Might as well go to the what? The casino then. Okay? That's where you've heard the stories of loss, mostly. The other stories of loss that you've heard is when you heard the market has gone down, like it did in 2007, 2008. And what is that word that I mentioned? Reduces your what with money? emotion with money. And so when people got scared, right, money and emotion are like oil and water. Separate them. When people got scared, some people, I'm out of the stock market. It's crazy. My 401k just went down 30% in a year, or whatever. And some left and got out in 2008. The market was around 7,000 at that time. Does anybody know what the Dow Jones Industrial Average is at today? Just randomly. Anybody? Any idea? Okay, I'll fill it in for you. 25,000. Actually, it hit 25,000 about an hour ago. 25,000. So people who were scared, who got out, have now missed on what? Just the good old-fashioned up and away, boring 10 to 11% per year. Let's keep on this. You're going to get on this train called the compound interest train. How are we doing so far? Making sense? Yeah. A lot of engaging eyes I see out there. I love it. Compound interest train. Anybody heard of this platform? Anybody using Acorns? Okay, you've heard of it. Okay, great. How long have you, Whitney has, and how long have you been using Acorns?
About a year.
Great. Pretty cool, isn't it? Spare change. Let me tell you about what Acorns is. First, by telling you what happened with me when I was 16, 18, 21, when I started to really invest. I needed $1,000. Anybody 20-some years ago, Mark, Tony, Whitney will understand this. You needed $1,000 to invest into a mutual fund and have a professional invest your money for you into those stocks, which is that smart to have a professional do it for you, right? Or do you know what stock's going to do better tomorrow? Most of you have no clue. I have no clue what stock's going to do tomorrow, and Warren Buffett, who is the greatest investor of all time, has no idea what the stock market's going to do tomorrow or what stock to pick per se tomorrow. So he invests in a lot of different companies. So diversify, right? This is where I want you to be unintimidated about investing because it's so simple. You would rather invest in 100 stocks or just 2? Which one makes more sense? And you're not even a finance major in here. What makes more sense? 100. What do you study, by the way? Business, okay. Who is not studying business in here? Anybody who does not want to go? Okay, this was 100, right? Because you want to diversify as opposed to have 1 or 2 stocks, because if those 2 go down, yeah, yikes, right? That wasn't a good bet, if you will. You have 100 different stocks to cushion any type of downfall a couple might go through over time. 100 different stocks. So Acorns' micro investing platform is simply this. It enables you to attach your debit and or credit card to the app. When you go to, someone name their favorite fast food place. Who's got a favorite place? Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A. Boy, that's all over the place, isn't it? Incredible. My son goes to Ohio State, and they just got Chick-fil-A last year. I have never seen a more crazy line out all the time. My son's like, Dad, check this out. I'm like, what? Oh my gosh, every hour of the day, Chick-fil-A is just massive. So you go to Chick-fil-A, you spend, that's pretty pricey too, isn't it? At the end of the day. You spend $9.50 on a meal at Chick-fil-A. By being part of the Acorns investment app, when you use your debit card, or if you choose to put it on credit, let's just use debit card because we know that's probably the smartest thing to do initially. I'm not an anti-credit card at all. But use your debit card, and it's $9.50. It will round up your purchase to the next whole dollar. That 50 cents of spare change will now automatically be invested for you into one of 5 investment funds. They're called exchange-traded funds, just like a mutual fund. You will own fractional shares now of 100-plus different stocks, including Apple, Microsoft, Google, J&J, Procter & Gamble, Halliburton, Caterpillar, yada, yada. Anybody clicking on that? So you now have spare change that otherwise would be in your jar or box at home. Come on, who's got that rolling? You know you do, right? That's doing nothing at home or underneath your couch cushions or your car seat. All that spare change is sitting there. Now it can be starting to work for you and being invested for you. Plus, you can start with $10 a month, $20 a month. Automation, automatic monthly investing in solid stocks creates wealth. Acorns now allows you to begin investing, not with $1,000 like I had to, with a single penny. You too can be part of what? Fill in the blank. In the past, or maybe you still think this today, investing is only for the rich. Myth. Big time myth now. Big time myth. Investing is for anybody who chooses to jump on the wealth creation train. Ready? Here we go. I put some names to these. Story of two, should be investor, but that's okay. Story of two savers. So Nick waits until age 26 to open an investment account earning 12% return on investment per year. So it's 12% ROI, all right, annual rate of return. Just a little bit above the average annual rate, so it's using just 1% higher than what the historical rate for 100 plus years. So 12% interest and invest $150 a month for the next 40 years, okay? Look at this. That's $150 a month, that's $1,800 a year. Everybody following the chart? $1,800, he does every single month, $150 a month goes out of his boring checking account to his investment account. His total contributions are $72,000. At the age of 65, starting at age 26, look what happens to Nick's balance. Turns into $1.7 million and change from $72,000. Anybody following what's going on here? That's called the power of compound interest. Whew. Albert Einstein said, hey, this is really, we're going to call compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. I believe if he was alive today, he'd say, you know what, the pyramids are pretty cool, but can we put this first? Who would like to be Nick? Anybody in here want to be Nick? Okay. Well, it gets better. Look at Tanya. Tanya opens the same investment account at age 18 and invests the same $150 a month, just like Nick, and only does this for 8 years and stops. Same 12% return on investment per year. Her total contributions, Tanya, is $14,400. That's nearly 5 times less. Okay? She starts at 18, does the same thing. Puts the brakes on at age 26. Invest nothing. What's going on with her balance at the end? Why does she have $2.2 million? $500,000 more than Nick when she invested literally 5 times less than Nick. Why is Tanya hooting and hollering right now? Who knows the answer? Yes.
Because it's the power of 72, so she has one more doubling period than Nick does.
Yes, that is pretty much the answer. In other words, she simply started what? Earlier. Boom, yeah. Tanya was not smarter than Nick, was she? Well, we don't know, right? See what I'm saying? How smart you are? Nothing. How your parents manage money? Who cares? The economy? Who cares? Who's in the White House today, 5 years? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? The compound interest train or compound interest does not care who you are. It doesn't. It's always open, by the way, the train, the compound interest train. It's in the station, ready to go, 24/7, 365, waiting for people to jump on. And you can start with a penny. I had to start with $1,000 to have a professional manage my money, if you will, or invest it for me in the right kind of stocks. Today, you just need a penny. And your fees are lower. You're going to save money on through the whole process. By the way, Tanya, if she kept going at age 26, you think 2.2 million is a lot? Yeah, no, this is nothing. If Tanya kept going at $150 a month, she now would have, at age 65, just under $8 million. Let's go back to step 1. Who remembers that title? Make a decision to what? Dream. Where's the belief level going today? It's starting to rise a little bit, isn't it? No, I don't have to go to Boston and go to MIT. Woo! You can. I have nothing against MIT. I'm just trying to make a comparison of what you think you might need to do to be successful. Wow. $8 million in change, and that's $150 a month. Do you know what this plan has been doing, and people have been telling me it's doing for them, and it's so fun to get their feedback? They are saving money differently out of the gate, sometimes within 24 hours. They're looking at different financial institutions. If the ones they don't like, they might look at another and go, wait a minute, I need to get those savings accounts. Most are saying, yeah, 60, 90 days, I can get my budget kind of together. I'm going to maybe sell. I've heard people, I'm going to sell some things maybe to get me on this train quicker. I'm going to write a sheet of paper. I'm going to start dreaming bigger. Holy cow. $150 a month, by the way. Some of you have a 401k plan, right? Didn't you say you have one? Yeah. That means, do you know if the employer matches 50 cents or $1 per dollar? Anybody know their plan? Okay, 6%, and that's pretty good. So you'll have an employer that will match 50 cents or $1 per your dollar that you put into your retirement account at work. We're talking free cash. You know how you heard the saying, there's no such thing as a free lunch, right? That's actually wrong. There is free lunches available in your employer's 401k plan. They will match 50 cents for every dollar you put in, or some will match even $1 per dollar. So in a few years from now, you think $150 a month is a lot right now, which it is, of course, right now, for some of you, most of you. You'll blow past $150 a month. We're talking crazy numbers. And you don't have to, because I know what's going on in your head right now. Oh, man, I got to wait until I'm 65? Come on, who's got that going on, right? No, you don't have to wait till you're 65. You can take some money out. Look what's going on here over at Tanya. The money starts to double at age 30, 42 to 74, 74 to 130. Money starts compounding. It's the compound effect. It's a hockey stick starts happening over time. You could put a nice down payment on a home in 10 years from now. Who would like that? 7 years from now. Pay off whatever you want to do. Start a business. Let the dreaming begin first. Then the behavior will follow right away. With your short term, get a new banking relationship if that's what you need to do. With those multiple named accounts. Look at spending money differently. Just saying no what? Sometimes. Do you know what? I have not heard yet around the country? As part of somebody's why. Part of someone's why I've not heard this. Fill in the blank though. Man, I just want to go to Chick-fil-A 7 times a week. That's what that would be awesome. I haven't heard that as a why. See where I'm going? So if you happen to miss Chick-fil-A once or twice a week or whatever it is that you know where you spend money, maybe more than normal, that's short term because you've got a bigger why. Final step, as we're done here, getting close to the end of the presentation, is pay yourself second. This is technically my most fun step of them all. Do you think with that chart I just showed you, how money can roll and roll big time, that you might be able to change a life? Impact a life down the road, short term and long term. A lot of heads shaking. How fun would that be to now be able to give money differently? Paying yourself second, I just call it. Instead of pay yourself first, you've heard that before, right? Pay yourself first, which means when you get a paycheck every 2 weeks, you want to make sure you save some money first, pay yourself, treat yourself as a bill, and then pay your telephone bill and your mortgage and all that and rent. That's great philosophy, but what about paying yourself second? By challenging you to create a savings account called giving. Some of you do this already, that's great. Some of you don't, whatever. I've got stories all over the country of different things that people do and what they're now doing, and that's great. It's all personal to you, this step for sure. But think about it, savings account called giving, and you're putting X amount of dollars in there every single month. And when the inevitable happens, you run across a family member, a friend, you see something on social media, on the news, where somebody is really in a bad place, right? Life happened to them. How fun would it be to take your money out of that giving account that you said, well, I don't know what it's building up for, but at some point it's going to be pretty cool to make an impact. You take it out of the account, you put the cash in an envelope, you meet this person up for a coffee, at a cafe one morning and say, hey, I heard about your story, or I heard you've been going through something pretty tough. I've been saving in this account. I've been managing money kind of a different way the last few years. I've got a savings account called clothes and shoes. I got a savings account called travel, or like my son, he had a savings account called Hawaii. That was one of his savings accounts, which he actually just went there in December after saving for it. How fun was that? And you got these, and then you tell this person, I had a savings account called Giving, and it was just general. I didn't know where it was going to go. But here is that account for you. Would you leave that morning coffee meeting or whatever it is, wherever lunch with that person, would you feel tremendously awesome leaving that time with that person? Absolutely. How fun is it? Now you have a chance with this plan to not just be all about Todd or yourself. Now you can affect the lives of others. So money became, by the way, just to end it for me with time, money became number one for me in my life unknowingly in my mid to late 20s. I was investing in the stock market. You remember my story? Investing when I was 15, 16. I had crazy wealth, if you will, for my terms, in my time at age 25. I had a big down payment on a house that I purchased and built in Cincinnati, Ohio. I had an Acura Legend I bought for cash when I was 24. I was styling in my own mind. And when the stock market started to take off with the dot-com, internet started to boom in 1999, stocks were going like this, to the moon. New companies came out, to the moon. Amazon was tripling, quadrupling. It was crazy. It was going way past 10% a year. And so what happened is I just simply did this. I got into opened up the box of life's problems. I opened it up and I pulled one little problem out called greed. And I left my boring wealth creation plan, which who thinks this is boring? Anybody? I left my automatic monthly and started to gamble in the stock market by investing a lot of money into 4 companies that had only been around for 2 years or less. Ooh, beautiful, right? Who's heard of Terrion Communications, Global Star, or Global Crossing? Those companies, anybody? No, you haven't. You know why? Because they all went down. Greatest blessing in disguise is when I lost all that money, because it reignited what is it that I want to do for my life? What do I want to accomplish? What do I really want this money to do? Trust me, I like having nice stuff. We all do. But if it's all about nice stuff, it's not going to be as fun if you can help others along the way. I had a blast here at Slick. It's awesome. If you are interested in wanting to know more, that was my daughter. That's a whole other story of adopting Mia, our daughter. I have 3 boys and a daughter, so she's now 14, and it's been a lot of fun. That's a whole story I'll save for maybe later. But at the end of the day, if you want to know more, you can visit toddromer.com, and I'd love to help you further. So Tony will be here afterward from Mountain America Credit Union for anybody who wants to talk to Tony. Some of you are members. If you have any questions about anything there, or just who want to know more about how they can help you begin on this plan too. Any questions? Any final questions at this point? We're getting real close to the end. Are you glad you came today?
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Fantastic. Again, thanks for your time. It was a lot of fun.